All right, hello everybody. We're back at home after the hurricane displaced us. We've been gone since a week ago Monday. So Monday we evacuated and went to a shelter. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then the hurricane hit Wednesday night. Thursday in the afternoon, went through some floodwaters to get here to home. Found that our roof was damaged and there was no power and water. So we went on to St. Pete that night, stay with Dr. Randall, and he had power and water and a swimming pool for Nida work in. And the rest of the area was devastated around it, but he lives near the National Guard. So that was really cool. And we just got back from there today. We stayed there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We went to Gamble Creek Farm to look at the damage there and to convene with Natasha and Zach, which was marvelous. And then we drove back today, which is Wednesday, the 16th of October. So now we're back to our GIS project, and this is a valuable tool set for all these places. I mean, here in Morocco, where we're looking, earthquake caused the damage that people are trying to recover from. And here in Florida, it's hurricanes. But we need to be able to map out all sorts of stuff for doing analysis of where floods can happen, where earthquakes can occur, where roads are, where you can bypass roads. GPS, GIS, these are valuable technologies that should help us to mitigate and adapt to these problems. Today I wanted to look at how best to work with our data, and I'm finding that it's really best to have everything in a spreadsheet. And so I have here the 17 projects, and then I got Mohammed VI Polytechnic Experimental Farm I just put in, and Mohammed VI Polytechnic University, the High Atlas Foundation Office, and then a study Polygon. So what you really want to do is you want to put in information in a spreadsheet. I've got province, municipality, village, estimated number of people, households, activities, like the solar panels and the piping for potable water and the water tanks, percent complete, the GPS coordinates, and then broken down into latitude and longitude in decimal degrees. And then I just added to the table Polygon WKT, which is well-known text, apparently. And that is where you store shape information, either polygon or multi-polygon. And what you basically are doing is then you're coming into GIS and you're going to layer and you're going to add layer and you're importing, or rather adding, a delimited text layer, which is your spreadsheet. Let's look at now, when we look at our map and we see that we have an area up here in Ben Gurir that has 2 data points in it. There's obviously the university, Mohammed VI Polytechnic, but their experimental farm is over there. So we want to make a shapefile to include that information, which can then be later modified. So let's do that, and then let's add it to the spreadsheet, and let's bring it back in. So what we'll do is we'll go to creating a layer. It'll be a new shapefile layer, and we'll call it the Ben Gurir Green City Project Areas. And the geometry type will be a polygon, and then we're going to use the 4326, the standard coordinate reference system. And we'll make a field in here, and we'll give it a name, and we will add that field in. And then we're going to put in polygon, or just WKT for well-known text. And we can also say polygon, so we remember what that is. WKT, really we can call this anything we like, except we don't have that many spaces to put the name in for it. So Polygon WKT, and it's a text string, and it should be as long as 255, so that we can fit in all the text. And we will say, oh, we didn't add it yet. We'll add that. All right, and then we'll say okay. All right, so we have this place that we can draw in here. I'm going to give it a color, make it green for the green city, and make its opacity a little bit smaller. Right? And then when I come in here and I go to edit with this pencil here, I have the option to put in a polygon, which I do from here. And I can say, okay, so the university really goes from here to here, and then along this road, the innovation and technology, there's the experimental farm. Maybe we'll come up to about here. The club of Ben Gurir will include it in there just in case, because I said we're going to change it. And then we'll come down to the bottom of the university there. And this will be our awkward polygon for now. And then we right click and we have to give it an ID and a name, which is UM6P. That's the name for Muhammad VI University, University Muhammad VI Polytechnic. It's the P. And then the Polygon WKT, there's nothing in it yet. So we'll get to that later. So we go like this, and that's going to be our shape. And it goes along. We have the shape for the High Atlas Foundation area. I've got this triangle here. I've got another square here for the High Atlas Foundation office. So this area up here is a polygon shape of the basic areas that include their experimental farm. So what do you do with this? Well, we can open up the attribute table, and you'll see that we have UM6P, and we can even change it to project areas or project area. The polygon has nothing in it. So if you want to get those coordinates so that you can add them to the spreadsheet, then we need to do a conversion. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to add a row, and it's going to be insert row below. I'm going to call this is in Rahamna and it's in Ben Gurir. This is called the UM6P study area or project area. I don't have any other information from it, but I do have this polygon, which has been created around these coordinates. These coordinates are actually for the experimental farm point and the Polytechnic University point, which you can see on the map. That star there is the, oh, don't want that. Let me get out of this thing. Let me stop editing it, save it. Right. So this point here, this, turn this off for a second, turn this off for a second, get out of there. This point here, if I can get in on the, see the problem is I'm getting into the actual polygon itself. How do you make it so you don't select that with the selection tool? That I don't know. Anyway, this point here that you're seeing is, and it won't let me select that. How embarrassing. All right, get out of here. Is it about surrounding it like that? No. Well, it's kind of weird. I think what I'd have to do then is bring the project sites up above this. Now maybe I have a chance of selecting just this site. Should be. No. Maybe I have to go like this. Yeah, there we go. So that's the university, and this one here is the experimental farm. All right, and then there is still this polygon underneath in the Ben Gurir that can be selected. So what we want to do is we want to get this into a coordinate system that we can work with. And what you do then is you go and open up the attribute table. Which somewhere around here looks like I've opened up several times. Yes, I have. So let me just close all these because they are in my way. All right, let's do it again. Let's work from here and open up the Ben Gurir project areas attribute table. And this polygon is not represented by any coordinate system. So go to the field calculator, which is here. And then say we want to update that existing field, and the field we want to update is the Polygon WKT, the well-known text there. And we want to use an expression here, and the expression is not that. The expression, let's go back to ChatGPT, who gave me the expression, geometry to WKT slash $ geometry. So you'll want to remember that somehow, but that's what it's going to be. Geometry or geom underscore to underscore the WKT, and then in parentheses, $ geometry. And then we're going to update that field with it and say OK. And then what we have is we have coordinates of that polygon. So then we'll grab those coordinates and copy them. And now we will go into our spreadsheet and paste those into the Polygon WKT field. So let's paste those in and then save this. All right, now what you'll need to know about importing, and I'm going to just remove all of these because that way you'll see how we do it. So get rid of that. I'll keep my project sites. I'll just get rid of my project sites too. Or I'll get rid of the project sites. Bye. Get rid of those. And I'll get rid of the High Atlas study area. That one there. We'll get rid of. All right. And the HF project sites we'll get rid of. So we're going to get rid of everything here because you'll find you don't need them anymore. So we've got our roads we're going to keep on. We'll figure that out later. So basically we have a road layer and we have the HAF office, which we still have on the map. But even that we could get rid of. Because now what this is you have a spreadsheet that has all this information and you want to bring it into your map. And so you're first going to bring in all the points features that you had. So we'll go to layer, go to add layer, go to add to limited text layer. We're going to pick our spreadsheet. And the first thing, as I said, we're going to do is the point coordinates over here under geometry definition with longitude and latitude. Longitude is your X field, which is going to go along from right to left, and then from up to down is latitude. It's crucial that you know that QGIS calculates longitude first and latitude second, because that's going to affect the polygons as well. But you'll see in the spreadsheet here, before it gets pulled in, we do have these columns for latitude and longitude. Normally on maps, latitude comes first and longitude comes second, but this is going to pull from the longitude field first, and then it's going to pull from the latitude field, and you want to use 4326 for your preferred geometry coordinate reference system, and that's basically going to be it for calculating and adding those points. So when I say that, now you see what happened here. Very interesting. Let me remove this because I didn't expect it to put in the polygon at first. I'm trying to go to a add layer, add texture limited layer, go for point coordinates from project site. And there we go. Let's try this. So going down to number of headers, lines to discard. So something's going sort of strange here for a moment. So it has discarded our headers. So first record has field names. Don't discard anything. All right, there we go. Latitude, latitude, and it should work now. I'm hoping. Let's see. Yes, okay, that worked. All right, so now you can see we have these points in here, and that represents our data. They're very small, so double click on this, and let's go to a different style. Let's go for this effect drop shadow. Let's set from millimeters this to pixels, and let's bring this up to 15, and then let's apply it and say, okay, now there's our points. So all our points are back in, and as you can see, when we go to the Open Attribute Table, then the attribute table has all of those villages in there. So that's good. Another thing we need to do when we bring in a file is if you have any attachments, like these photographs that I have in the data table. Remember from here, I have all of these photographs on my D drive that I have in. So if I want those to show up, then I need to go to Properties, and I need to go to the Attributes form and tell it that the picture is going to be a attachment that has an image attached to it, and I want to use relative to project path and set a default path to wherever my pictures are, because that is going to be crucial. So that's my default path, and then everything is relative from there. That needs to be done for the picture 2 and picture 3 as well. So attachment, and coming down to relative to project path, and then pick the photos and make sure that it is an image. And you'll have to do that when you first bring the spreadsheet in. And I'll show you that you don't have to do it every time when you modify the spreadsheet. That's the great thing. We'll just do it once. But when you start from scratch, that's what you're going to have to do. So once again, and then image. And I even have, by the way, documents as attachments. I have a PDF file. So again, that's an attachment, and it'll be relative to project path, and then put in, okay, and then this one would be web view, and you'll have to put a hyperlink in. Oh, and I didn't do that for the others as well, so let me put a hyperlink. So use hyperlink and apply. Let's go here again, use a hyperlink, and here use a hyperlink. Okay. All right. And in this is a geometry. You can't change the polygon thing to geometry. So you can only, when you bring in a spreadsheet, you can only have either point geometry, or you can have line, or you can have polygon. So you're going to have to bring in the polygons separately from the points. So this is the point feature that we just brought in, that we've added. Now when we click on an area, for example, if we click on Amazergani and there's a photo, we can see that photo by clicking on fields up here, and there's the photo right there with a hyperlink to click on, so you can open it up in a viewer, for example. So this is really neat that you can do that. I mean, if we go to Ifleet, there's no picture, so we have to add a picture to that. But if we go to some of the other villages, see what happens when we come over to this village here, no picture. This one here, no picture. This one here has 2 pictures. So when we click on it and we go to the feature table, then you see the 2 pictures there, along with hyperlinks to them. When you go to the office in Morocco, Marrakesh, for example, this one here, then you see it has a polygon associated with it, but no picture. If we go to this one here, there are documents and photographs. If I go to this document, and click on it, you'll see, yes, there are photographs you can click on, but there's also a PDF. And you can click on the PDF, and then boom, you now have all sorts of information about Acridge that is associated with this file. So it's a very cool ability to have these attachments in your attribute table. So that's how we got the points in. If we then want to bring in those polygons, we're going to go into layer again, say add layer, add delimited text layer, just like we did. But this time, when we select the very same spreadsheet, we're not going to do point coordinates. We're going to do well-known text, WKT. Choose for the geometry field the polygon WKT, and geometry type is polygon. And then when we add this in, we should see, okay, that's strange. It's supposed to have worked and it did not work. I'll remove that. Or maybe I'll just change the data source and try it again. No, it did not work for some reason. So let's try that again. Don't know what went wrong. We go to layer, we go to add layer, delimited text layer. We tell it that we want to add this. We tell it that it is HAF project sites, not this time. So we're going to call HAF polygons. And we are going to use as the geometry field the polygon WKT. And that's supposed to make it work. There it is. Yeah. So second time's a charm. I don't know why. So there, okay. So there's our polygons. And there's the one that we created before. If you remember that one, that was the one that we created to go over that area of the university. If you don't like the color or whatever, you double click on it and you go to symbology, and then you can change the opacity and apply that and see if you like that. So now we have these polygons that are associated with the areas, but all of this came off of the spreadsheet. So that way you can send the spreadsheet to one another rather than worrying about shapefiles and all that. You just send spreadsheets, and whenever you update the spreadsheet, it's going to update on the map. So as a good example, let's supposing we have this hotel that we're going to stay in, and we want to put that on the map and get it in the spreadsheet. So if I go here and I say, what about the assuming this thing will work, what about the Semiramis in Marrakesh? And there it is. That is the hotel we'll be staying in for the workshop that we'll be giving. So you go to Semiramis Hotel and you right click and take the coordinates and come to your spreadsheet, and let's put in here in Marrakesh Safi, in Marrakesh. This is the Hotel Semiramis. And we can add any other fields we want, but the coordinates then are going to go into our coordinate field here. And then we have to separate those out. So we'll take the latitude and put it in the latitude field, and the longitude goes in the longitude field. And if we want to take a picture of it, we can go to, oops, not that. We can look at pictures that they have of it. Here's all the pictures. And let's see, let's take that picture there. And we'll just do a screen grab. and save it as Hotel Semiramis Marrakesh 1. Let's save that one there, and let's find one other that's indicative of the area. It's not a bad place. I think we'll take this one of the garden. That's pretty okay. And we'll take that one. And we'll save that one as Hotel Semiramis Marrakesh 2. And you can do this all day. But now that we have those pictures in there, we'll come in here and move over to the photos, and we'll go to the photo and take the Hotel Semiramis Marrakesh 1. Where is it? Where's Marrakesh 1? There it is. Right click on it, go to copy as path, come here, go paste special, and then paste special again and say use text import dialog, and then make sure that the quotations are not there. And then we can do the next one the same way. So right click, copy as path. Notice that if you just come in after the copy as path and you paste it, there'll be these quotes, and you'll have to come in painstakingly and remove those quotes. And then it's fine. But if you do what I did before, let me get rid of this, and you say paste special, now it's not going to let me paste special. Isn't that great? Let's do it again, because I already pasted it. Let's go in here, copy as path. Now come in here and tell it paste. It's not going to let me paste special. Isn't that something? Ah, there's paste special. It came back. Paste special and say use text import dialog. Then it removes those quotes for you. So it's really up to you. And now you can save this. And now watch as we go into QGIS. What we do then is we're not doing polygons, we're doing project sites, right? We don't want to have to go through and change the symbology and all that. So what we have to do is right click here and say open, change data source, and then go to it, and you're changing it to the updated table. And now when we put that in, we should see as we zoom in, yep. So we already had the office. I don't know why that didn't come in. So that's bizarre. Oh, Polygon's just in a weird place. So there is the High Atlas office is down there. Let's move it up. Let's turn this off. And then let's turn off. So there's the High Atlas office down there. But the hotel that we just put in is up here. And if you want to zoom to it, you can always open up your attribute table, which is hidden somewhere. There it is. You can always open that attribute table up and then click on that field, that row, and then right click and say zoom to feature, and it will go to that feature. And that's not it. Let me do it again. Okay. Zoom to feature. What happened to the feature? Oh, there it is. It just made it yellow, so it was really hard to see. It makes it yellow, and then you can see it. And I think what's a problem here is that I've made these things be based on pixels that starts out too small. So let's make this 30 and hit apply. Now it's easier to see. and say OK. Yeah, so whenever you want to zoom to a feature, you can go and say, OK, I want to see the High Atlas Foundation office. Pick it, go zoom to feature, and then when you look at it, you're looking at the High Atlas Foundation office. If we want to go back to the hotel, we click on that, say zoom to feature, and there we're looking at the hotel. We click on that, we see the project sites, we click on the feature table, and then you see the two pictures. And we can put any other hyperlinks that we want to in. So that's the nice thing, is the ability to just come in and add things. Let's just do one more addition. The Water Museum is where the conference is going to be. So let's go in and find the Water Museum. So Water Museum Marrakesh. And there it is right there. We'll right click, get those, come to our database, our spreadsheet, put in Marrakesh Safi, Marrakesh, and then it is the Water Museum. Come in, paste our coordinates that we just pulled off, take them, paste the longitude and the latitude. And if there's pictures that we want to bring in of the Water Museum, then let's bring those in. So there's a nice picture of the Water Museum. There's another one that's even better. So let's take that. Let's give credit to the person who made the picture, and copy it. Or save it. Sorry. Save it as Water Museum, and go to our folder. Take the Water Museum, copy as path. Come into our spreadsheet. Go to the photos and right-click, do paste special, and then use text import dialog, and bingo, and then save it. And once again, when we go to QGIS now, and we tell this that we want to change the data source, we change it to the updated CSV file, and bingo, the Water Museum appears right there. If we click on it, we have the ability to open that up and see the picture. Okay, so it really is good, in my opinion, to use a spreadsheet for all of this information, and that way you can share things much better, and then you can still work with the data as you like. So yes, I would do the work in the spreadsheet and then bring it into QGIS. And then of course you can then share the spreadsheet with users of ArcGIS Pro, or with GRASS, or with any of the GIS programs that you have. So that is my suggestion to everybody. Thanks. See you in the next one.